I'm Darren. I'm Creator61 with my tools, toys, tips and tactics to help you get the best out of your Canon R50. Well, today I've got my Canon R50 here and I'm ready to try out a brand new lens. What I'm trying today is a new format. I've just seen a video where there's been no editing, so I'm trying the no edit challenge to make a video for a product. So normally my videos have a bit of background music and B-roll, but this is going to be a video of me discussing the Sirui 24mm T 1.2 Nightwalker lens. Now this is not a sponsored video. I will leave I'll leave links down below in the description of the products that I talk about today. And as an Amazon associate, I do make a small commission from those links. It doesn't cost any additional to you, but it does help the channel and it helps me out a little bit as well. So the Sirui 24mm T 1.2 lens is a Cine lens. Cine lenses are a little bit different than a photographic lens. And the differences that we find are a photographic lens will adjust in and out, its length will change, whereas a Cine lens has the same weight and the same dimensions across a line of lenses. So the Sirui Nightwalker series of lenses, we've got a 24, a 35 and a 55mm. Now you can pick those up for around $1,000 US as a set, but I'm not made of money. So I could only afford to buy one particular lens. And I find that I shoot mostly at 24-25mm. So that's the one that I bought today. This video is not sponsored. I can't remember if I've already said that. So let's find out what's in the box. I have opened the box. There's a disclaimer there. So let's open it up. It's a lovely box, but we didn't buy the lens for the box, did we? We buy the lens for what it can achieve. So we've got an inner package here. Open this up. This is almost like a video like unboxing therapy. That's a good channel. If you haven't seen that, he does some good stuff. So in here we have a warranty card and a little pack. There's probably a lens cleaning cloth in there as well. A really nice soft bag for the lens. A couple of silica gel and a padded box. But we're not here for the box. The lens is shrink wrapped in this plastic here. That's all we're going to do. We're not talking about the box again. All metal construction. It weighs roughly around 500 grams. I'll put a text message up as to the actual weight of this lens. As I said, I'm going to make this as a non-edited video, or minimal editing. No editing. So you get to hear every burp, cough, fart and sneeze in this video. End cap. So plastic end cap. We have a front cap. There is no lens hood included with this. Now 24mm, what's 24? 24mm times 1.6 is, I think it's something like 32. Let's just have a look here. So we'll go 24 times 1.6 equals, oh, it's about a 38. It's about a 38mm equivalent lens on a full frame camera. These lenses will not suit full frame, okay? So if you're looking for Cine lenses for a full frame camera with the R mount, this will not suit. This will cause vignetting around the edges. So, where were we? The lens mount options. You don't need an adapter. That's the great thing about this. So you don't need a Canon EF2 RF or Canon EF2 R mount adapter. This will plug directly onto your Canon R50. It also comes as a Fuji X a Micro Four Thirds and a Sony E mount as well. So you can get it for various smaller format cameras. It is T1.2. Now, what's the difference between T-stops and f-stops? Well, T is a transmission, so this is the amount of light that will go through the front lens, through all the little elements, and actually hit the sensor on the back. So it's a nice, bright, fast lens. And you can achieve some really fantastic, some super fantastic shallow depth of field. I've been playing with this lens out the last couple of days, and the shots are, they're not bad. They're not bad. I'm not a pro photographer, but I do like my photographic equipment, and I'm finding that this is producing some amazing results. So T1.2, and I'll show you that it is nice and bright. So look at that aperture, that's T1.2, and we can stop that all the way down to that little tiny pinprick there of T16, T1.2, T16. So, and again from this end. All glass, all metal, it is a solid, hefty lens. It's going to really double the weight of your Canon R50. It's going to make a bit of a difference. With this as well, there's no electronics. So no electronics on there whatsoever, no pins for adjusting the focus or the aperture of this lens. So you're going to need to set your camera to take photo without shutter. I've made another video for that. I'll link that up here in a card so you can see the settings that we need to change to make full use of the Canon R50 straight out of the box. So this Cine lens, the lens will not extend and contract. It will not change shape. It will not change weight distribution when we're focusing, unlike other particular lenses. And I've got a bit of an example here. Well, we've got the 16mm lens. Let me just put that on the front of the R50. So let's click that on there. And when we turn this one on, can you see that? See the front of the lens? I'll turn that off. Turn it back on. See, the front of the lens actually pumps in and out. And if you've got your camera mounted on a gimbal or a rig that is finely balanced, that's not going to be ideal for you. It's going to cause a change in weight distribution. So you want to have a lens that is a standard weight and a standard size. And that's what cinema lenses are, Cine lenses are. So in the box we got a front cap, we got an end cap, and those are both plastic. We have a locator dot up the top there. So the little locator dot up there, and we line that up with the locator dot on the R50, click it into place, and that is nice and secure and snug on there. Now I'm going to put another light on here just so you can see it maybe a little bit better. Great little lights, Iwata. I've made another video on those as well. Daylight, tungsten, RGB, and all of the different scenarios and effects that you can get with those lights. So we've got our Cine lens on here. We've got two lots of gears. Now it's not going to work with not with this particular cage. Now I'm not a pro photographer, so I don't have the pro focus pulling gear, but I might play around with that later. What we've got, let me just take that off here and see if I can get that one off as well. Maybe I'll leave that on. But I've got this cage on here. I've made another video with the cage as well. I'll put another card for that up here as well. I'm saying a lot of as wells. Okay, so a Cine lens. We have the scales sitting here on the side. And that's because with a Cine lens, the focus puller could be looking at the side of the lens rather than being directly over the top like you would be with a photographic lens. At the back we have our aperture, and the aperture ring is nice and smooth. Now both rings are declicked. There is no audible clicks, there is no audible adjustment sounds whatsoever. However, we do get a little bit of a clunk when we get towards the end of the lens throw. So I'll just hold that up to the microphone here. I've got the little oh, what are these microphones? This is a Saramonic, the Saramonic Blink ME. I'm testing that out. And this is a microphone that should be seen because you can put your logo on it. Okay, so let's get to the end of the lens throw there. So turn it around. And you get that audible clunk. Same for the aperture. You get a little bit of an audible clunk. What would have been lovely is if there was some kind of dampening there. But on a lens that is around 300 US bucks, so each one of these lenses costs around 380 US dollars, and I'll put links to these down below so you can buy the lenses with the best possible pricing that I've been able to find on Amazon. Should mention also that I am an Amazon associate, so I do make a small commission from any purchases that are made using the links that I provide. There's no additional cost to you, but those purchases through those links do really help the channel. And this is not a sponsored video at all. Okay, so I spent my money to buy this lens and I'm loving it so far. So with it being a manual lens, and a Cine lens, it takes a little bit longer to actually find focus. And what I mean by that is the focus ring turns almost 360 degrees. I think this is around a 270 degree throw on that focus there. So you can achieve some amazing detail focus with this lens. And the minimal focus distance is 30 centimeters. So what's that, about a foot if you're using imperial? So it's about 30 centimeters, so about that far there from the front element to my hand is roughly about 30 centimeters. And we're able to achieve super shallow depth of field. It is amazing. I've played with it on a computer keyboard and you get individual letters in focus. It's amazing. Of course, that's with a T1.2. At the other end of the scale, being a T16, more of the image in frame will be in focus. So, as it is a manual lens, you're going to need to set some focus tools on the camera. And you'll be looking for focus peaking. And focus peaking will just put an outline around what the camera is seeing in focus through the lens. So you're going to have to focus by eye. And that does take a little bit of practice. You're going to get better the more times you do it. So I encourage you to maybe not shoot at the widest aperture you can. Shoot maybe, I think the sweet spot's around 2.3, and you still get that shallow depth of focus, but we're not talking about a shallow depth of focus which is literally about 30 millimeters wide. That's going to give you some really great results. A Cine lens can also be used for photography. So bearing that focus throw of 270 degrees, you're not going to be able to nail focus really quickly by hand. Just something to know. Okay, so with this, there's no image stabilization, there's no electronics in there whatsoever. So this is a lens that is really suited to being used on a tripod or a gimbal. And I've got this little tiny tripod here. This is a Zhun tripod, and I've got a little metal ball head down here, and that works really well for some of my handheld shots. And I love this top handle, and I love this rig as well. Now, one thing with a fast lens, and if you are shooting out in daylight, you might want to look at a variable ND filter. Now, this is the Vodka variable ND filter, and this is the same filter that I use on my Canon M50 on the Sigma 16mm lens. The front of this lens is 67mm, the same as the Sigma 16mm. And to install a variable ND filter, we just screw that on there. And how smart does that look? It looks really nice with the red. So I'll put some links for that down below as well. A variable ND filter. What does a variable ND filter do? For those that have never seen one before, a VND, variable ND, I'll just use this as a little bit of a backlight here. So see how we've got light transmitting through that there. If I adjust this, we should see that light get a little darker. There you go. See that? That's probably set at the extreme there, but you get the idea. So variable ND allows you to keep your lens wide open so you can have that lovely shallow depth of field. You can also use it to create, you know how in nighttime photography you can do light trails? Well, you can do the same thing during the day using a variable ND filter. And that just literally screws onto the front of the lens, and we're right to go. There's the mark. We've got that max and min. And of course, then you don't have to play around with the aperture of your Canon R50 to create some absolutely amazing effects. You might have seen there's teeth. There's teeth on this lens as well. So that's for the focus pulling, and that is for the aperture there. I'm not sure if these teeth are an industry standard, so the number of teeth or the pitch of those teeth is standard across Cine lenses. But if you're buying Cine lenses from the same manufacturer, they are going to be, well, obviously the same. So what else can we talk about here? The scales. The scales. So we've got the scales on the side here. You can see those there. And the difference with a photographic lens is that you would be looking down from the top and you could see the scale there. Whereas on a Cine lens, you might be looking from the left or the right, and you can see that on both sides. 25mm on an APS-C sensor camera is roughly a 38mm lens. And I can't remember if I've said this already. These lenses are suited for smaller sensors. APS-C, micro four thirds, they come with the Fuji X mount or the Sony E mount. So difference between this lens and a photographic lens. And I've got the TT Artisan's 25mm f2 lens here as well. That's going to be another video down the track, and I would love to do a bit of a comparison between the two. So you can see that this one is a lot smaller. So if weight is an issue, maybe you want to be looking at a photographic lens of the same focal distance. So any questions? Please put them in the comments down below. I'm Darren. I'm Creator61 with my tools, toys, tips and tactics, and this is a non-edited video. So the premise of my channel is to help content creators create content with the equipment that they use on their Canon R50. So it's been fun making this one. It's been a different video to make.